Vlog number 2. Hello. Located yourself in ongoing conversation about Hartford, Park Street especially. Relating to Hartford, that was kind of hard. The only way I can relate to Hartford is because I'm at the UConn Hartford campus. Also, sorry if this sounds weird, I'm eating. Locating oneself. I mean, I was able to do that with this ending stuff and the writing vulnerably, because that is something I relate to. I'm able to kind of, I guess, locate myself in this sense, because I have been pretty vulnerable throughout my life, and because we're supposed to like make the connection with Behar in this somehow. So because Behar said I have it highlighted, when you write vulnerably, others respond vulnerably. I do talk about how it's not necessarily just in my writing, because I do keep to myself a lot. I don't open up. I don't particularly like talking. Okay, and position other writers in the conversation. I didn't really... I might have done some of that. I did talk about a video game most of the time. I talk mostly about the video game The Stanley Parable, and position other writers in conversation. The game developers who developed that game, they wrote the game, they wrote the dialogue for the narrator, because it's like mostly just you use WASD on your keyboard to direct the character, and it's a lot of dialogue from the narrator. Some of the things in the game, I include some of the dialogue. Like, I first talked about the freedom ending. Other writers, the developers wanted most likely to start a conversation with this game because it's a parable about determinism. You can very clearly see that. And I did find a video on YouTube where it like looks at this game and it talks about determinism versus free will, which is a really great video, by the way. If you're interested in the game, I recommend you go check that out. And in this ending, the narrator, one of the things the narrator says is he had won, he had defeated the machine. The machine of determinism. Then I talk about the not Stanley ending, where the narrator finds out, hey, we're real people controlling Stanley. Shows you a video of choices, and you see in the other ending, opposite the freedom ending, is the explosion ending. One of the things the game developers wrote was the narrator saying, I turn off the machine, I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. So yeah, this talks about like determinism, what the game developers were thinking when they were writing all the dialogue for the narrator. That's really a lot of the bulk of what my essay was. That's really all the other writers that I mention. I do talk about at the end. Before I get vulnerable myself, I talk about the butterfly effect. And I mention one other video game called Until Dawn. With the quote about choices being, I'll highlight this. A tiny butterfly flapping its wings a day may lead to a devastating hurricane weeks from now. And I didn't mention this. I wanted to include it, but it might have gotten a bit lengthy or something. According to when I went to the writing center, They said take out all the stuff I say about this video game Until Dawn and another game that's also has to do with the butterfly effect by the name of Life is Strange. They thought it wasn't as going along with what I was talking about. I thought it would have been more beneficial had I included that. Possibly, I don't know. Because, like, I was just talking about the one-way sign and how it has the deeper meaning of determinism and choices. Question 2, considering your engagement as a writer within the city of Hartford, how do you think of this project as a success? How do you think of this work as important in ways that it would not be possible at a non-urban campus such as Storrs? Personally, I might have done better if I was at Storrs. I can't really relate to Hartford. I didn't grow up in a city. Storrs is urban like my town. Simsbury is it was a success in the sense that I was able to talk about something I like, which is a particular video game called The Stanley Parable, which I love. Go play it. So yeah, I guess that's my vlog. I like cookies.